everyone, and welcome to another episode of the ACE podcast. We're very excited to have you with us today. And today we have a very exciting topic for conversation today. It's edutainment and the role it's playing in transforming the advocacy landscape in Nigeria, right? And before we get right into it, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe. Please share to your family, friends, colleagues, and everybody that you know. I would love to have you engage, right? So the comment section is always open. Feel free to drop your thoughts, your comments, and whatever it is you have to share, right? So we're getting right into it. And for today's conversation, I will be your host. My name is Biobele West, and I work at ACE, of course, as a programs associate. And of course, I will be leading the conversation for today. Today's conversation, I have two very brilliant people with me, and I will be introducing them very shortly. To my left is Dr. Victory Ekpin. Dr. Victory is a medical doctor, and she works here at ACE as a senior research associate, and she also manages the Edutainment project. Dr. Victory has extensive experience in research, over 7 years of experience as a public health researcher. We're very excited to have you with us, Dr. Victory.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Yes, and to my right is Umar Alabira. Umar, aka Papa Lolo. Umar is a public health professional and an edutainment expert. We're very excited to have you with us today, Umar, and we look forward to all of the insights you'll be sharing with us.
I'm excited to be here.
Great. So, we're getting right into it, right? This is a very interesting conversation, edutainment. I don't want to spill the beans. I'm going to allow our guests here to do all of the talking, and I'm sure that we're going to enjoy every bit of this conversation. So please stay put. So first of all, we're going to establish what exactly is edutainment. You're probably trying to put one and two together, edutainment. Don't worry, calm down. Umar is going to do that for us. So Umar, please talk about edutainment. What's edutainment? Let's enlighten our viewers today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Biobele. And just like I've mentioned earlier, I'm very excited to be here, especially since we are talking about edutainment, because it's all about entertainment. Yeah, okay. So when we say edutainment, it basically means education through entertainment. Okay. And in the context of polio, which is what we usually do, it's, using music, performances, and, let me say drama with, community-based strategies, you understand, to pass key vaccination messages, you understand. So what it does is it attracts people's attention, especially in places where there is, low awareness or there is high vaccine resistance. So that's what edutainment is, especially in the context of vaccination campaigns.
Okay, thank you, Umar. That's very, very enlightening. So edutainment and entertainment, education and entertainment, yes, right? Yes. Educating people through entertainment. Thank you very much. So, Dr. Victory, I would like you to just talk about it. What is it about humor, right? What is it about edutainment, entertainment that makes people respond differently, right, to our messaging?
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, Omar, our Papa Lola. Papa Lulu Papa. If I put it like that.
Please,
yeah. So edutainment, actually, as it has already been said, is education and entertainment. And it's actually not just humor, actually. Or it's not just like at the community level. So I'm going to use an example. I was watching a movie, one of those times I still had the time to watch movies. And in the movie had nothing to do with health or HPV vaccination. But I noticed that the men in the movie kept going to take HPV vaccines, right? It was like something that they were pushing on. A man would be like, oh, hey, come, like gather his friends. Oh, hey, come, let's go take HPV vaccine. My girlfriend said I should go take HPV vaccine. The movie had nothing to do with health or vaccines. And I immediately picked up that this is a campaign for HPV vaccination. So that is what edutainment does. It breaks the barrier between do this to look at somebody else doing this, or hear somebody else having a discussion about doing this, or see somebody that you look up to doing this, right? That's one layer. The second layer is that when things are represented as humor, it breaks resistance. A lot of the times when we have health messages or advocacy campaigns, there is some resistance because people are like, I don't want it to affect my previous way of life. What are the barriers I need to break to get to this health action you want me to do? But with edutainment, people instinctively relax, are able to hear the messages better and actually digest them rather than first of all saying, I don't want to do this because this is coming from here, or this is coming from there. But in our context, in our specific context, like Umar was talking about, we do it a lot with community campaigns, right? It helps draw people out. So we do it with polio vaccination, we do it with the mass drug administration, and some other interventions that we utilize edutainment. It helps to bring people out, right? So not just breaking the barriers, but also to draw people to our point of interventions. So it's actually a very interesting approach to advocacy. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you, Dr. Victory. I mean, I can already pick how edutainment helps make things, stories, and messagings more relatable to our people, right? That's very interesting to hear. We've talked about what edutainment is. We've been able to access why it's different, right, in its approach and the impact or the effect it has on people, right? So let's go a bit deeper. Let's talk about it using an example, right? Edutainment is one of the strategies we deploy here at ACE. We've done a couple of work. Can you maybe tell us with one example, right? One of our edutainment strategies, how we have done it in the field, so people really understand, edutainment, how is it really done, right? So would you like to sort of explain that to us?
Yeah. So just quickly, we have different platforms, edutainment platforms. We have a modified PA event. In most cases, we use Kekenapep, and then we put on speaker on top of it. So what it does is it plays this jingle that's announcing this activity is going to be happening, or it's happening in your locality. And also while doing that, playing some songs and going around the community. So what it majorly does is to create awareness, basically. That's one. The second platform we have is the use of Papalolo, just like you've mentioned. So we use Papalolo to mostly we use them to attract children. You understand? It pull crowd, especially children. You know, the dressing and the acts. You understand? It's just comic, exactly. So these children likes it, and they tend to come just to watch. So we already have vaccination teams there, because usually we attach them to fixed posts. So they go there and then they provide this vaccination. So that's a second platform. In some instances, so in some states, we use cultural troops. For example, in Katsina, they have this cultural drama team with the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. These are well-organized people. They have their costumes. They also came with their drama script. They came well rehearsed, like they have these different performances. They know what to say, you understand? Unlike Papalolo, like these ones, they are very organized people. So they come, they performed, and in those instances, you even see not just children, you see adults. You be seeing people taking pictures with them, like after the activity, people taking pictures with them because of how they perform. And one thing I liked about that platform is it's so instead of just performing alone, they have a way of engaging people, like their audience. So either a child or maybe an adult, they have a way of bringing him into the drama or something like that. So it becomes fun and all those things. So that's another platform. I think these are the major exactly. So in some places we also use Mekalango, because not everywhere you will see this Papalolo. We call them Mekalango. These are also local musicians that play local tunes. You understand? They have their drums. They will be playing it. You understand? And mostly, you understand, adults usually like that, and that's where that messaging comes in, because the trust. You understand? So it creates this memory. You understand? And people tend to accept, you understand, that, like, without looking at the other aspect of, okay, this is vaccination and all those things. So I think this just explains what edutainment is
I mean,
all.
it's very interesting. Thanks, Umar. It's very interesting to hear, right? Just to add another layer of information, a lot
Yeah.
of what you've described happens in the north, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
it's very interesting to hear. I mean, he has mentioned a lot of entertainment troops,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, what names are these? But then it reminds me, right, when I was young back then in the village, and they're having these masquerades. Right,
Yes.
these are activities that tend to draw out the entire community, and you see children in mass, even adults in mass. And then I'm just imagining, I'm pretty sure there must have been vaccination teams those times in those events, right? It's possible, you can never tell, because these activities actually draw out people in mass, but they are entertainment activities. But now it's the idea of infusing education into all of those activities is very interesting to see, leveraging the crowd that it pulls, and then actually using it as an avenue to inform, right, to raise awareness, to provide services to them. It's very interesting to see. I mean, you listening to us now as a viewer, you can already imagine what this activity could look like or feels like, and the impact that it's having. Do you have any experience? Have you had any experience with edutainment troops? Are you probably listening and then you're thinking back, I attended one thing like that. It's possible that they did some vaccination exercise, and it's not just vaccination. Like you also mentioned the mass drug administration, right? These are great platforms. So I'd like to hear from you as a viewer as well. Do you have experiences like that? Have you been part of an edutainment activity, or are you probably just recalling something, or are there ideas that you have in your head? Please share with us. We're very excited to hear from you as well. This is a very interesting conversation, right? And as you're doing that, please remember to subscribe, make sure to like, right, and share. It's a very interesting conversation. You want to get people on board it as well. So just to continue the conversation, right, we've talked about the benefits, or rather the impact that we see edutainment having, right? How we're able to pull people out in very fun ways and educate them, improve awareness. But do you think that edutainment, right, runs the risk of maybe making light situations that are actually very serious, right? Or because you're trying to make people laugh, it's natural. Things or activities that make people laugh, people have fun, they are most likely, they'll more likely remember, right, those activities that they've taken part in. But do you think we run the risk of making light things that are actually very serious? And how do we balance that, right? In as much as we're pushing it out in an entertaining way, we're also getting the action that we require from these people as well.
That's actually a very good question, because okay, I think we should frame the question a little bit.
Okay.
Does edutainment achieve its goal? Right? Because I don't think that the problem is making light of a serious issue. The issue is very serious. We're trying to pass on a message. I'm saying this because sometimes it does make light of a serious issue. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you see a medical influencer make light of an issue that, as a medical doctor, I know that this issue is very serious, but he's doing it to pass on a message. So the making light of the serious issue is important at that point, because people will not understand the gravity if I come to say this is this highfalutin thing that if you keep doing this, you'll get this. And I'm speaking in medical jargon, so speaking in so many what's the word? Threatening or serious things. But if as who is the influencer I'm trying to think of right now, a proco doctor, I think, will come and say Nkechi, you know, and then everybody's like commenting on that, because the humor drew them in, right? That is what edutainment does. Yes, I'm going to say sometimes it makes light of serious issues, but it is not the lightening the serious issues that is the goal. The end goal is behavior change. So it is now about, did you attract people to listen? Because with advocacy, right? With advocacy, there are different levels to things. The engagement and where people engaged, does this edutainment strategy engage people? Yes or no? Yes or no. I mean, the answer is dependent on the strategy. Then, after engagement, did people accept it? People accepted it? Yes or no? or maybe after engagement, the people understand it, people accept it, the people, the attitudes change about it, right? Before even action, the attitudes change around it. Like if I was having a discussion with someone about something before, and then the person listened to my advocacy messaging, did the discussion change? Before you now said the behavior change, which is the final thing. So, my point is, I'm trying to say, the focus should not be on if it made light of the issue, but did this making light of the issue actually have the desired impact or not? So the answer to your question is, it sometimes does make light of the issue, but sometimes that's important. Humor is important.
Right. Yeah. Thanks. I mean, thanks for clarifying that. It's taking the high and mighty in quotes, right, and bringing them into smaller, bite-sized, relatable moments, right, for the people that you're trying to reach out to. So sometimes I agree with you. It might be necessary to make it put it in an approach that makes it look lighter than it actually is. It's not like we're trying to water down the issue, right? We're communicating the right information, but in a way that is easily relatable and acceptable by all. So Umar, you've had a lot of experience, right, with edutainment on the field. Just in addition to what we've been discussing, or as an add-on, right, do you have, or have there been any experiences, right, where people took the messaging a bit differently from what we were expecting, right? So did we have any cases of misinterpretation as a result of edutainment by our audiences?
Well, I will not say maybe with the messaging. Okay. The only challenge I think we've ever faced around maybe a situation where maybe our edutainment activity backfired, I think has to do with maybe the choice of edutainment platform we used. Okay. You understand? So that's why, and since that experience, we always try to make sure that it's, context-based and, community sensitive. Like, we work with these state people as well as the LGA people to know, okay, what kind of edutainment platform best fit those places. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we have that, and I can give you an example. I think there was a time, I don't want to mention a state, where we deploy our PA vans, you understand, KK, in one of the settlements. So it's a very religious settlement. It's a Shia settlement, and it also, and unfortunately, it coincided with their, this religious moment when they usually celebrate, that yearly Maulud. And this KK guy went to this community while playing the jingle. You understand? He was also playing like song. So they really felt it was insensitive because of the period as well as the nature of the place, and it's actually backfired. But however, with the help of the LGA people, because we've been working with this and they have this good relationship with these people, we were able to resolve it because it's before it escalates. So these are the kind of situations, like, I think, where we have issue of maybe edutainment activity being misinterpreted or maybe backfiring from the people we are targeting. And since then, like I've mentioned, we always try to make sure that it is community based. You understand? That's why we have these different platforms. And I think.
Thanks, Umar. Thanks. That's very interesting. That just says that it's very, very important, right, to take into consideration the context through which we are deploying these edutainment activities, right? While the messaging remains the same, the platform might differ based on the context, right? And it's very important. There's no one way fits all or anything in our strategies. It depends. Like, Umar discussed most of the strategies that we deploy in the north. A lot of activities, Papa Lolo, Mejigi, exactly. What are the others? So all of those ones, I'm not sure we're going to carry Papa Lolo to the south. Exactly. Right? There are probably edutainment or entertainment platforms that exist in those settings as well. And it's taking into consideration what exists, what is the local context, and ensuring that our strategies really fit within the local context for us to be able to actually see the impact that we want to see. That's very interesting, right? I'm sure most of you that may be listening, you've probably done some work in the north, and maybe Papa Lolo is not new to you, right? But I mean, we probably have people doing some work in the south as well, and it's just seeing how all of these strategies will be useful in the south. We'd like to hear your thoughts. What are do you actually do edutainment activities where you are? Have you observed any in your communities? What is it like? Or is it something that you'd like to know more about? Generally, just would like to hear your thoughts on the current discourse that we're having. It's very interesting to see. And again, make sure to subscribe, like. If you haven't at this point, you should like this and then share. Just click the share button, share it to all of your friends and your colleagues. It's an innovative approach that actually helps us reach the people that we need to reach with our different interventions, right? It's very important. So I'm just going to continue. We're just going to continue this conversation, right? Dr. Victory, I would just like to ask, we've had a lot of conversations around understanding what edutainment is, the importance of tailoring it to fit the context where it is being used, and also the messaging, while keeping the messaging should remain as it is, but the importance of making it very relatable to the people that we're pushing it onto. But my question would then be, how do we move from just edutainment to actual action, right? It may just be a ride on to what you had said previously, but we're not just going in there to make people laugh or to get them to sit down and have a good time. There is a message we're trying to pass across. Mm-hmm. How do we ensure that our strategy actually passes across that message and people are able to take action as a result?
Okay. Thank you. So for this question, I'm going to geek out a little bit. Sorry. But like edutainment generally is based on some theories, right? Some actual academic theories. For example, the social cognitive theory or theory of reasoned action. Some of these theories are about the fact that, one of these theories is about the fact that people do what they see others that they look up to do. I think that's theory of reasoned action or thereabout. They do what they look up to. People that they look up to. Or people that they want to emulate what they see. And so that's where the things like the drama comes in, or is it Majigi show that we do? The evening shows that we do as well. Or when you utilize movies or MTV Sugar. I don't know how many people watched MTV Sugar growing up, right? That is a very beautiful example of edutainment. And it really brought down HIV rates in so many different countries. So people want to look up to that. There's also social cognitive theory that says, I'm not very sure if this is which is which, so maybe it's changing the theories, but there's another theory, one of the two, that says that with the fact that people want to fit in, basically. So if something is happening in a community, people start taking it up. People want to fit in. So it is like if we do a community advocacy thing and people start to take it up, other people are more likely to take it up because people want to fit in. People don't want to stand up except me. So anyways, so back to your question. These different theories are usually used to draw the theory of change between the edutainment and the final outcome. What is the final outcome? Behavior change. Not just behavior change on an individual level, behavior change on a community level. So think of herd immunity, but in these terms, behavior change. You want majority of people to adopt a specific health behavior. And it should be very clear that oftentimes it takes time to go from point A to point B, which is the final outcome. It is not something that is often measured in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks. That's why oftentimes we cannot really measure that behavior change at the end of the day. Sometimes it can be like with our vaccination strategies. Sometimes the behavioral changes, uptake of a particular vaccine, it can be measured immediately. But think of something like cervical cancer, pap smear. You could do an intervention for years before you start seeing that 50% of people are taking up this, 70% of people are taking up this. Do you understand? But before then, the things that you can measure is engagement. How are people engaging with your advocacy tactics? How are people engaging with the edutainment intervention? Are people listening? Are people watching? Are people commenting if you're using social media? Or if you're using community level, are people coming out? Are people, that's why oftentimes we count the number of women, men that were present during our activities, the number of people that were there to dance, to watch. We often count that because that's engagement, right? That's one way to measure things. So engagement. And then, I talked about a cascade before.
Yeah.
After engagement, you can assess attitudinal change. We also do that as well, when we assess changes in attitude and perceptions. It is basically asking, before we did this thing, what did you think about, I'm using polio as an example because we work with polio. What did you think about polio vaccines? And then we would often hear a lot of things. And then after, you ask them again. Or even during, if it is a long form edutainment intervention, you can ask them during maybe midline. At any point you want to do your evaluation, but like, what do you now think of it? And you're expecting some changes to start happening, right? So those are early ways you can measure engagement, attitudinal change, perception change. Before you now start measuring the final behavior change, which is in cases of vaccine uptake, in cases of, let's say, climate change, how are people taking care of their dirt and stuff. It can be used for any form of intervention you want, and the way you measure this is dependent on that, on what you are doing. But I just wanted to clarify that sometimes it takes time, and any public health or social developmental intervention that is being implemented anywhere, people should always know that it takes time to get behavioral change at a mass level. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I mean, you did justice to that question. In fact, I was going to ask another, but you went ahead to provide responses to that already. So I think we've had a very extensive conversation in so little time. We've talked about edutainment and how interesting it is. We've talked about the approach or the innovation within that context, right? How we make use of entertainment, right, to educate people. We use it. It also sometimes serves as a form of social mobilization, right? So you're able to reach people that maybe on a normal day would have been difficult to reach without even going to them. You draw them out and all that, right? We also discuss the importance, right, of contextualizing our approach, right? I mean, putting into consideration the local context before you deploy any edutainment strategy. Very important as well. So thank you very much for these very extensive conversations. It doesn't end here, definitely, right? We can't do justice to it in these very short minutes, but we've tried to already kickstart that conversation, right? And to you, our viewers, now would like to continue that conversation with you, right? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you have any questions as how this actually happens, right? Are there instances where you've had the opportunity to make use of this approach, edutainment approach? Is there any questions you may have? Feel free to make use of the comment section, right? Drop your comments, drop your thoughts. We'd like to hear every bit of it. But we'd like to wrap up the session now, and we can't just leave you hanging, right? So, I'm just going to ask one question, Dr. Victory. If you had the opportunity, I mean, we've discussed on the benefits of edutainment, especially in reaching particular groups of people right now, right? In our line of work, I mean, if you work within this space, we work with a lot of data and all of that. And the data doesn't really mean a lot to a lot of people. Right. And then this is where these strategies come into play, ensuring that everyone is aware of what's going on. We're improving awareness and, of course, in the long run, behavioral change, because just like you mentioned, it doesn't happen overnight. But if you had 30 seconds to convince a policymaker on the benefits of edutainment, right? What would you say in 30 seconds? This is even shorter than an elevator pitch. So why is humor important, right, in advocacy? So if you had 30 seconds, let's see what you can do. But yeah, I'm not trying to put her on the spot. It's just, but yeah, just go ahead.
Okay, I would say humor breaks barriers. Humor breaks resistance. Humor shows people what they did not want to see and they accept it. Shows people what they don't want to see and then they accept it. So invest in humor, my dear politician. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Victory. So, Papa Lolo. So, I mean, just one takeaway from this entire conversation, right? What would you say to our viewers or anything? Just one thing. What is one thing that our viewers should take away from this entire conversation?
So just like you've asked Victory earlier around making a serious issue lighter, I just want to emphasize that this issue of vaccinations and, all these strategies and innovation that we're bringing just to make sure that we reach these children, it just shows how important these activities are. You imagine, just because you are safe, like you've passed that stage, maybe you had the opportunity of receiving this vaccination when you are a child, and you are today trying to deprive, somebody. So you just imagine the effect, you understand, of having a child grow up with defects, understand, just because of maybe someone's ignorance or someone's, selfish interest. So what I'm just going to say in short to my audience, like, this is not some parents' responsibility. It is everybody's responsibility. So for us doing edutainment, it's not just our responsibility. It is also a responsibility on you that you're watching this to make sure that every child, you understand, whether maybe due to lack of access or maybe due to lack of knowledge or anything, receive this vaccination. So you do it on your own way. So that's just what I'm going to say.
Thank you very much, Umar.
So in essence, he's saying basically that everybody should become edutainers.
Yes. So we can put it that way. So everybody is edutainer. Should be edutainer.
Thank you very much, Umar. And I would also just like to add something to just wrap it up, since everyone is giving a wrap-up speech. But yeah, just to wrap up, edutainment, with what I have learned, I'm saying what I have learned. You can drop in the comment section what you have also learned as well, right? So what I have learned is, I know that one of the challenges we have, especially with interventions in Nigeria, is one is non-compliance, where maybe caregivers are not willing, right, to take or accept some of the things that we may be bringing to them. In this context, maybe vaccines, right? And then we're struggling. Why are they not accepting it? We're struggling with a lot of myths, right? And misconceptions about a lot of things that are currently going on, a lot of interventions, life-changing interventions that are currently going on. And what I have heard from today's conversation is that edutainment plays a very big role, right, in breaking down hard or difficult to understand contexts, right, and then ensuring that there is improved awareness, there's improved uptake of these interventions, right, and then of course in the long run we're able to see the changes that we want to see. So edutainment plays a very big role, right, in our advocacy messaging right here in Nigeria. Of course, very importantly, would like you to share this conversation with your friends, with your colleagues, with your family members. Everybody needs to hear about it, right? Don't fail to subscribe, make sure to like, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.